afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of You Voices. Of course, I am your usual host, Miss Edisa Eugene, and it is definitely always a pleasure to be back on radio with you and also via Facebook. It is definitely a pleasure as well having a young lady in studio with me. She's already giving me that smile, so I'm a little nervous. But yes, I am super excited to have no stranger in studio with me today. As we all know, March is observed as Women's Month, and so throughout this month, on Your Voices, we will be celebrating our young women in St. Lucia. Yes, yesterday was International Women's Day. However, with Your Voices, we have decided to carry out a little program where on our page, look out for updates where we will be sharing different young women in St. Lucia every Friday. So, whichever young woman that I will be highlighting on the Thursday, you will look out for the official post on the Friday. So, definitely going through the month of March, that is what you should be looking out for. So, again, if you didn't understand what I said, the month of March is known as Women's Month. And so, throughout this month, on Your Voices, I will be highlighting young women in St. Lucia. And so, when I am done highlighting them on the Thursday, on the Friday, look out for the official post about this young woman on our Youth Voices pages. Of course, if you are not following our pages, feel free to do so via Facebook, Youth Voices St. Lucia, and as well as Instagram, Youth Voices SLU. You could also go ahead and have our email just in case there is somebody that you believe that we should highlight. Feel free to email us at youvoicesslu@gmail.com. Again, youvoicesslu@gmail.com. Yes, and so this afternoon I am going to be starting off the ball with, like I said, definitely someone who is no stranger to our community of Soufre. But for now, she lives out of Soufre, but her roots remain. And today she is in the person of Miss Neah Peter, hailing from the beautiful community of Fort Saint Jacques. Of course, I know your Fort Saint Jacques folks are looking out, always supportive. So, good afternoon, Neah.
Good afternoon, Edisa.
And how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Go ahead and tell the people a little about yourself.
All right, so good afternoon again. My name is Neah Peter from the beautiful community of Foseja. I'm a local St. Lucian artist where I specialized in acrylic art and I mostly do portraits. Recently, I registered my business, and last year I went on this journey where I did this course turning my business into a social enterprise. And
Wow.
so this basically means that my business runs as a business, but it also helps solve social issues and help our people. So Tuesday was my first class teaching young students. I have 10 of them about art, and art to me is very therapeutic. It's something you can go to relieve stress. You can just stay out of all the violence that's been happening lately.
All right.
And I started in Marsha, and I have 10 very talented kids. They're so excited, and it has been a little challenging because I don't really teach, but it's a journey, and I am enjoying it.
Okay, nice. And you basically gave us so much in such little time. And I like that. And it seems like you have so much going on. So, first, let me congratulate you on having a business and
Thank you.
also being a registered business. Not often do you find young persons going ahead and registering the business, of course, because of the red tape that appears to be there.
Yeah,
And so I want to take this time to congratulate you on behalf of the Youth Voices family.
thank
Of course,
you.
we are definitely proud of you and we want to wish you success as you move forward within the few more coming years.
Thank you.
And so, Nia, you mentioned too that, of course, you have a business. Not sure if I missed it, but what is the name of your business?
So it's named Nia's Artistry,
Nia's Artistry. And you said you specialized in what?
acrylic arts. So,
Acrylic art. Okay.
mhm,
I am not a painter, so allow me to just try to understand.
mhm.
So there is acrylic art, and what is there a difference with the usual paintings? How do you differentiate?
So acrylic is the medium that I use. I use this one because it dries relatively fast and it's easier to use. In my opinion, there's oil and there's watercolor. Oil takes way too long to dry and I don't have the patience for that.
Okay.
And then there's watercolor. It involves a lot of layering and also the patience. I don't have a lot. So acrylic, it can be vibrant and it brings out what I want to bring, which is I do contemporary art. Basically, it's modern and it's nice and bright, and to me, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and thank you so much for pointing that out. Of course, I have seen some of Nia's work, and I could definitely tell you that I am impressed, especially knowing Nia. If anybody knows Nia, they would understand. So knowing Nia, her work definitely amazes me. And so I think if you are not following Nia's artistry, that's the name, right?
Yes.
You should go ahead and do that right away,
Mm-hmm.
both on Instagram and on Facebook. She is available, if not also on her personal page. You would find only ads there. Don't ask me why, but yes. Um, you could always check her out. Neah Peter, she has so much
YouTube.
paintings and whatnot.
Mhm.
If I wish this afternoon I could have actually shared my room. I have a special wall, and Nia's paintings are on this wall. Like I have three of them. I believe it's three of them by now. I
Mhm.
have three paintings, and all of which was done by Nia. So as soon as you enter, you would see Edisa in the room, even though Edisa is not in the room. But of course, guys, for those of you just joining us this afternoon, of course, I have Miss Neah Peter in studio with me. Of course, like she mentioned, she is a local artist, a young woman who has painting at heart, and her main focus, well, her medium, the medium that she uses is acrylic.
Mhm.
And of course, she loves what she does, and she aims to continue in that line. So this afternoon, like I mentioned, we are celebrating Nia as our first young woman on Your Voices for the month of March. So Nia, how does it feel to be a young woman in society?
Wow, it's a lot, but I feel good that I am the one who's going to bring life. I'm the one who's going to nurture, and it's really beautiful being a woman actually.
Yes, and how does it feel to be a woman who actually stands out? You know, not many times do you find women painting or focusing on some specific type of painting. You get people who just paint, but you actually take your time and you study, you observe. How does it feel to be different?
Well, I do portraits mainly because there's so much you can express with the face, and I find it so beautiful doing different commissions for different people. They have different facial structures, different tones, different skin colors, and it's like I said, it's very therapeutic to do that, and I really love what I do. And if there's sometimes I want to do it for free because I love it so much, but then
Right?
as a business person, you need to make a profit so I could continue my social the social part of it, so it's really amazing.
It's definitely amazing. And how could I forget to ask you about your social enterprise entirely? Of course, if you heard Nia's introduction, she would have mentioned that her business, she basically transitioned into being a social business. It's not just a business. And then she went on to explain how her social business actually aims and aids in helping the community. And I just wanted to give us a little insight, Nia, as
Mhm.
to how you contribute to the community through your business.
All right, so last year, I believe, or a year before, I started these classes. It's a course by the St. Lucia Youth Business Trust where they were basically showing us how to change our business into a social enterprise. And a social enterprise is a business which operates and it impacts the social environment and the people in a positive way. And there were many in the cohort. It was the second one, and I finished just last year, and it was amazing. I learned a lot, and right now, I am conducting the classes. That's the impact that I have so far. I really wanted to start in my community, but because of the distance, I had to start closer, and starting closer, it would run smoother and better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
understood. And it is definitely commendable that you do not keep your talent to yourself. It basically shows how you you have been giving your time to your community in terms of teaching those around you
Mhm.
about something that you love. Again, not many times do you find people wanting to have the patience to even go about it, especially painting. You mentioned that you have 10 kids.
Yep.
Imagine having 10 kids
Yeah.
playing with paint. What if you turn your back and by the time you come back, you
Mhm.
realize everybody's covered in paint?
Oh my gosh, it's a learning process. Okay, I have no choice but to have patience because there was a time I couldn't do this,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning. It's it's very exciting.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to understand because imagine I'm still
Yeah.
imagining what if for true I have 10 kids and I say okay I'm going to the washroom. By the time I come back, everybody's covered in paint. What would you do though? In a situation like that, you left the room for maybe two
Mhm.
seconds and you left the pin there and you said, please don't touch. And
Mhm.
by the time you came back, everybody's covered with paint. What would you do?
Well, that would be a learning exercise right there. Everybody would paint over each other. I just
Okay, and what would you call that class? Maybe body painting?
mhm.
Body
Mhm.
painting. Okay.
Expressing expressive art, you know.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, Nia. And of course, it is nice again to see that you're giving your time to your community. You're having the patience.
This is your Sulfur Pulse News Bulletin with Janine Monzal.
World Kidney Day is a global health awareness campaign focusing on the importance of the kidneys and reducing the frequency and impact of kidney disease and its associated health problems worldwide. On the occasion of World Kidney Day 20.
Yes. Sorry for this short intermission. Of course, technology does its thing sometimes. Of course, going back to you, Nia. Um, like I was mentioning, I am happy that you are giving your time to the community. Now, something that I'm really interested in getting to know. Um, how were you inspired to become a painter? What inspired you?
Deep one. I think it started in secondary school actually. I loved making the cover pages. Like I never wanted to print it out, even if they wanted me to. I enjoyed decorating them and making them look how I want. And I never, me and the printer, we weren't friends because I always wanted to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So it started there, and then I took on little challenges like trying to paint my mother, my grandmother, trying to paint my little siblings, and then I'd see them on YouTube. YouTube helped a lot, and I I would see these amazing artists doing it, and I'm like I can do it too. So it stemmed from there. YouTube actually helped a lot.
Okay.
Hmm.
And knowing that your alma mater is super comprehensive, let me take some time to big up
Right.
the super comprehensive secondary school,
Yes.
where there was a well put together visual arts program that I know you two were part of the class. Um, how did that contribute to you becoming better?
Well, it's there's a lot of technicalities in being an artist as well. You have to learn anatomy. You have to learn how to mix the paints properly so you could get your desired outcome. So learning the basics, it actually it actually did a lot. It made sure that I had the right foundation and the right ways to start. Maybe drawing the face with circles. It's important to know how to do your circles properly, your basic shapes, because all the art that I do, I start with circles and lines and squares and just simple stuff like that. So having a good foundation is very important because you don't want to reach at the end and realize that you did the nose wrong. So you have to start properly.
Okay, nice. So basically, in a nutshell, you just said that super comprehensive school visual arts program really aided in the
Right.
effort to make it better.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And I also know that from then you moved on to the Suffolk Community College, right?
Right.
Did you focus on arts there as well?
Well, I did some type of art. It was actually science.
Oh,
I
okay.
did biology, and yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. And going back, because I know your heart lies when it comes to you painting.
Right.
When you're bored, that's what you do. Anybody who knows you. Knowing that you're a shy, timid individual,
Yeah.
how has that maybe affected you when it comes to running business as a painter? Because being a painter, to me, you need to be more expressive and whatnot. I know you might say that you express yourself through your paintings,
Right.
but what has been a barrier knowing that the type of person you are is kind of different to what persons would expect?
Well, can you rephrase? Can you?
Okay, so how does your personality impact the way that you run your business?
Well, being a shy person, people tend to think they could just walk all over you, or if, like for instance, last month, I don't know if I should say this, but
Go on.
last month I had to do a piece for someone, and usually I take deposits first, but for this one I said, oh, okay, well, I'll do it and I'll drop it for you and whatever. 2 months has 2 months they passed, and that person is still giving me like little stories like I'm sick now or I can't do it. I feel like if I had been more assertive, or I said like, what, I'm not going to start this um unless you give the deposit like a
Right.
normal business would, then I wouldn't be in that situation. So I have like 2 or 3 of them home that I don't think they'll ever have a owner because I didn't take the deposit or didn't do that.
Okay. And you tend to get people who do that a lot, especially when they realize like you're a very passive individual. They kind of take advantage of it.
Right.
As a business person, I definitely can relate because I actually had a similar issue where, again, like you, and I know you know that because we talk as at present, um, where, of course, I usually take deposits. But then your heart is into it so much that you're like, it's okay, and you just want the person to maybe be satisfied and maybe reach out when you're ready.
Right.
So I actually went ahead and then I told the individual, send me the details as to what would you like. She went ahead, she explained that, I would like a cup. Then she said she doesn't want the handle on the right. She wants it on the left. Now, in my head, I was saying, but when you go to SNS, you get the handle at the back. So if you're a left-hander, you hold it this way. If you're a right-hander, But then again, I'm like, okay, no problem. I designed it that way. Then she asked for Okay, so far that's just a little show off. Let me tell you, we're asking him to take care of the women, so he's already showing like I'm going to be patronizing. So I'm loving that spirit so far. I'm loving that spirit so far. So just in case, of course, for persons who don't know, just before you leave, just mention again your social media platforms, how you could be reached, and contact details.
All right, so on Instagram, my business page is Neah's Artistry, or you can just type my name, Neah Peter, and you'll find both of them. I also do YouTube. I recently restarted it so I could share my journey with everyone because transitioning into a social enterprise is actually really fun, and I want you all to see it so you could do that with your business as well because it feels good, and then your customers, they carry great value with getting your products or your service because when you buy a painting of mine, 30% of it actually goes to the students that I give the free classes. So I get them supplies, I get them little treats in their classes. So, and then yes, Facebook, it's also Neah Peter, and you can get my business page on there. I'm easy to find. My email is Neah. Thank you. My email is neahpeter13@gmail.com, or you can get me by 7251537. You can send me a message on there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Neah. And let me take some time to just thank you so much, Neah, for coming in studio with us today as our first woman that we will be highlighting for the month of March. So, of course, it is definitely a pleasure to have chat with you today and just for you to share with us your story, how you started and what inspired you to continue even when there have been challenges. And so with that, I want to just take some time to again tell you thank you and remind you that you are strong and that you should remain focused as you continue in business. Of course, again, the You Voices family is always there to support you, and we wish you greater success. And so, to those of you listening to us, thank you so much for staying tuned in this afternoon. Again, we had Miss Neah Peter, who is a young artist from the community of Fort St. Jacques, Soufrière. And of course, for those of you who may need to reach out to Neah, she just mentioned her social media platforms, Neah Artistry on Instagram and Facebook. Also, you could check her personal account, Neah Peter. And yes, other details that you would need, she would be able to provide you with that. But just before I go though, I don't know where it disappeared to. I actually wanted to share a short poem with my ladies this afternoon because, of course, I find not many times women are reminded of how strong they are. And so as you go out for this weekend, I want you to just remember that you are strong. And like I said a while ago, you are actually one of the most important assets of society. So these are my words to you women this afternoon. Well, to us women this afternoon. Never bow down or allow others to fix your crown. Let it shine on its own. See what it has become. Hold hand to hand with all your sisters. Be confident. Be strong in all the obstacles. Women have overcome. We have power like never before. Don't let them forget what we were fighting for. So again, that's just to remind you that you are strong. So as you go out this weekend, remember that you need to remain confident. You need to tell yourself that you are strong. Look in the mirror and don't allow anybody to doubt you. So of course, with that, I leave you this afternoon, and it was definitely a pleasure to be on, having to speak to Neah and having Neah inspire each and every one of us this afternoon. And so with that, I am signing out. Thank you again, and see you next week.
to Youth Voices with your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, where we focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment in academics, entrepreneurship, sports,